Hello and welcome. This is Evelyn, and we are diving into a very interesting conversation. From the voices of the Matriarch, we are diving into the great cosmic mother, the darkness. So this conversation is an unscripted conversation. It's coming from the womb of darkness, from the womb of the all. And we'll be looking into other sources corroborating the downloads and the messages that we are getting with other sources. So the Great Mother is rising. The voices of the Great Mother is getting louder from the depth of darkness, from the womb of darkness. She speaks to all of us. So we are here in this conversation. We are listening. So this is a meditative conversation. I encourage you to introspect as we journey together into the womb of darkness. So you see, the universe, creation is feminine. It is the darkness that permeates all, yet unseen, and yet impacting and impacted on every life form, physical, metaphysical, spiritual. Call it any name you want to. So recently I've been deepening into the womb of darkness, the womb of the Great Mother, the womb of the cosmic mother. And she has been teaching me a lot of things through my own intuition, with what other people are saying, and in nature, because this is where she lies. This is where you can feel the impact of the great cosmic mother. This is where you can interact with her. And also within the subconscious mind. The great mother is a subconscious mind. So from time immemorial, we have been told that God is the Father, God the Father in religion, in some traditional cultures, and particularly in the West, that God is the Father. So we want to journey back. We are in the womb of darkness to understand what has been playing up in our subconscious, in our conscious, and in our world today. I also want to use this axiom, the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without. So this is one of the pillars that we're using in our conversation today. So whatever is born of the inner is also replicated, duplicated outward. Even the Bible talks about the creation of the world started in a dark void, with a dark void. The scientist today talks about the Big Bang. Where am I going with this? The universe, the void, is darkness. Creation starts in darkness. The darkness is the holder, is the container of everything. What are the attributes of the darkness? What are the attributes of true darkness? The Great Mother. When we go to sleep at night, darkness is comforting. Darkness is nurturing. Darkness hides a lot of things. The enormity of darkness is vast. Because of darkness, we can see the light. So these are some of the attributes that I want you to start embracing, because the darkness is not something that we should be afraid of. The darkness is the mother. If you are afraid of the darkness, it means you are afraid of the mother. Without the darkness, we can't see. Without darkness, we cannot see the lights. We hide a lot of things in darkness, the attributes of darkness. If we look at mothers, what mothers are today, the darkness is also full of love. It's accepting, it's nurturing. You can see on some days, on some cold days, we want to just couch in and just be in solitude. Solitude is darkness. Darkness is also revealing, because in darkness, this is where we attain wisdom, the knowledge about the greater mysteries that lies within ourselves. The enlightenment is what we call the light. It's the masculine aspect, which is born from darkness. Darkness embraces all other hues, all other colors without judgment. Just look at the picture behind me. Look at the myriads of stars and lights that are sitting comfortably in darkness. And without the backdrop of that darkness, we cannot comprehend or come into this enlightenment. You see, darkness permeates all. It is the dark matter in our universe. It is the melanin in our universe. It is the melanin in us. The pigment that you see is not a color. It is the dark matter. It is the feminine. That is the birther of all. So when the birther of all, when you are enlightened, you're the light. That is the light coming out of the darkness. And this is the beginning of the masculine, the patriarchy, the light. I want to talk more about the Great Mother because in our society and in our religion and in our culture, we have been told to embrace the lights, which is the masculine, the patriarchal aspect of the mother. And we are told to hate the dark. The dark is fearful, the dark is bad, the dark is unenlightened, the dark is evil. So that is the beginning of the enslavement of the feminine in our world. And we have been told to sway far, that light, we have been told to sway far away from darkness. As we move far away from darkness, we lose our sense of balance. The world has lost its sense of balance because of the light that was born out of the womb of the mother, because of the light that has separated itself away from darkness. So you see, the masculine was created by the feminine, because the feminine is all, the feminine energy, the darkness, the womb of darkness creates all. As I mentioned before, creates the light, you know, creates the light, the masculine aspect. She is self-replicating. The darkness is self-replicating. The creation of the masculine or the male was to create variety of creations, you know. The feminine principle, the darkness has always been very, very simple principle. But in the wake of the masculine, the light, complexity was introduced into our world. And what do I mean by that? If we take, for instance, Alkebulan, the original name for Africa, the dark continent. If you look at the lives of those people today, it's a very simple life close to nature. And if you also look at, in contrast with the Western world, that is based on the patriarchy, it's a very complex setup. So we can start to see the two demarcation. Therefore, when light strays away and continue to stray away from darkness, when the father or the male or the masculine continue to stray away from the source of its creation, the darkness, the great divine feminine, there's so much complexity. It goes through this complexity, so much so that the light cannot sustain the amount of complexity that it creates as a result of this deviation, further deviation from the feminine. And what then happened? There's a collapse of light. And when that light collapses onto itself, it has to go back into darkness. We see this with the stars all the time. Stars, after shining for millions of years, they burst out, they blow out, and they go back into darkness, into the womb of the mother. So this is a cycle. It's a cyclic journey. The journey is cyclic. There must be a return to darkness, to the womb of creation. And this is why we are at a very important point in his story, because the patriarchy, the historic patriarchy, the history of the patriarchy has now got to the peak of its reign and complexity. And it's now crumbling on itself so that it goes back into the womb of darkness and be rebirthed anew. So this is why we have our world in this way. Things are happening because we've moved away, further away from the womb of creation, the darkness, the cosmic mother, the great cosmic mother, the darkness, into the light, further away from the great mother. So the great tide, the tide is turning in now, so much so that light has shone too much. The light has shone too much, so much so that it's turning on itself. And as it turns on itself, the collapse happen. And this is why we have the time of darkness rising, the divine feminine. The journey is not so much to lean on one aspect, the darkness or the light. The journey that we are in now is coming into balance, the balance of darkness and the balance of light, coming into that middle point of balance. And this is why the prophecies of the Black Sibyl, the first Mami Water prophecies, states, until the great divine African mother is enthroned, they're talking about the cosmic darkness. Until the great divine African mother is enthroned, there will be no peace and balance there will be no peace and balance in the world and on this planet. And this is why we have the great darkness rising. And I also want to say, we've been told in various cultures and religions that the dark is bad, the dark is evil. This is the subjugation, the control of the feminine energy, of the great mother, of the cosmic mother. So for thousands of years, we've been, or even millions of years, we've been swayed away from darkness. But we are coming back around with this great change. We are coming back around. The correspondence, the symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, is the great cycle of life. The great cycle of life. There is conception that takes place in the womb of the great mother, in the womb of the dark void. And that fetus is nurtured, fed by and in the womb of the darkness. That fetus, why do I keep saying feature? Maybe there's something here about features. But the fetus in the darkness of the womb receives the nurture. So it's able to grow and be birthed as the light. The birthing, the new creation. The new creation is the light. And this child, or this creation now, progresses on its journey through life. It expresses itself. So the expression of lights. I would mention the 7 chakras here. The white light has 7 colors, 7 colors of the rainbow. So we can also correspond that to the chakras, the base chakra, the sacral the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. There's more. So we see creation intertwining and creating attributes. So the blueprint of light has those 7 attributes, which it then uses to express itself in the world to the fullest. So after the expression of itself to the fullest, it then goes into decay. It goes into decay and back into the womb of darkness, the cosmic mother, to be rebirthed anew. This is the journey, to be rebirthed anew. There's always a comeback. The light was never meant to stray further away from darkness. So the more further the light stray away from darkness, the more it cuts out the umbilical cord. It cuts the umbilical cord, its connection to its source. It cuts the connection to its source, which is darkness. So darkness is the first and foremost. Darkness is the highest energy. They tell you it's light, but darkness is the highest energy. Our work here is to master darkness and light so that the womb of the all, the womb of the great mother will expand. Darkness is for expansion. Everything in the universe is dark matter, contains dark matter, embodies dark matter, express dark matter, including you, including me. So embracing the darkness within us and the light, embracing the darkness within us and the light within us is the work that we are here to do. And once we've achieved that, we go back, we feed that knowledge into the womb of darkness for expansion. I also want to mention the aspect of the conscious and the subconscious. Did they say that the subconscious and superconscious controls 95% of our life? Why is that? And we are only expressing 5% on the conscious. So if you think about the subconscious and the superconscious, it's the darkness, it's the great mother, the suit, the darkness, the night. It controls the light. And the light is operating at only 5% when we are talking about the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious. The superconscious and the subconscious, I feel they are the same. But the subconscious, sorry, the consciousness is light. So when we are being told that light is the highest frequency, that too is a lie. The light born out of darkness, born out of the womb of the great darkness, the womb of the cosmic mother, is the progeny, is the offspring of darkness. So how can light be the highest form of frequency? Darkness in itself is androgynous. Let's talk about that. Darkness is androgynous. Why did I say that? Because darkness holds all. It holds both light and itself. It holds both masculine and feminine. Darkness is self-replicating. And this brings me to the fact that the feminine by nature is self-replicating. Science has proven this fact now. Is that I can't remember the name, but I will write the name of the process on the screen. Is that the progenesis, but I need to get the name of the process. Darkness is self-replicating, it replicates itself. It replicates itself and variety of itself through light, through the masculine. But in itself, darkness in itself is self-replicating without the light. Because why? It contains all expressions of life and consciousness. But they tell you it's bad. They tell you darkness is bad. They make you hate the dark. They make you dislike the dark. They make you move away from the dark. Darkness, melanin, the dark matter is the highest form of frequency. So embracing your darkness, the feminine aspect, the left-hand path, and your light. Because in fact, light is the expression, it's the various aspects of darkness. I want to say that again. Light is the many aspects of darkness. So it's embracing all of that, embracing the light and the dark. We become the androgynous being. Talking about sexuality, because I want to cover sexuality. Talking about sexuality. If the darkness is androgynous and it contains everything, and this is the great cosmic mother, the creator, she is self-replicating. She does not discriminate. All of the expressions of consciousness and of life expresses through darkness. You can see her. She does not discriminate. She is acceptance of all. But in our world today, we've been told that there's a right way to express our sexuality. it must be between the physical male and the physical female. But I'll tell you one thing here. The female and the male organ are the same. The male organ is just the outward expression, the light, the outward expression of the feminine, internal feminine reproductive organ, sexual organs. The reason for the creation of the masculine, the physical male, is for variety, is for the production of more variety of the expression of darkness. Like I said before, we have light, and within light, that is the masculine, that is the father. Within that light, light holds 7 expressions, similar to the 7 colors of the chakra. You know, if you pass white light through a glass refraction, through a glass, you will see the split of those 7 colors relating to the 7 chakras. Yes. So this was the reason why the light, the masculine, the male organ was created, to create variety of the expressions of darkness. Okay. This is the only reason, because the feminine is self-replicating. So when we talk about the right way to do sexuality, to express your sexual nature, in the patriarchal system, which has largely permeated our world, which the world is based on, the patriarchy is the world system. It tells you how to express your sexuality, that it must be between a male, a physical male, and a physical female. That is untrue, because the feminine is self-replicating. She doesn't need anyone or anything. But because the feminine is compassionate, the great divine mother, the great darkness is compassionate and wants to populate the earth, want to create more expressions of herself through the light of the father, masculine. This was why she created the masculine organ, was created to create more variety. So it's almost like, let me explain it this way, in a very simplified way, because I know that this is going to be challenging for people to understand. So we have this, in these days of our technological advancements in the patriarchal system, we have the automation. When we're talking about technology, we have automation. And what does automation do? Automation helps you to scale your production. With automation, you can produce more. You can produce more. So this is, you can produce more within a short amount of time. So this is what is happening here. The light is an automation of the great mother, the great darkness. to automate creation so that there's variety, so that there's more beings on this planet. This is why the Bible in Genesis says that Adam and Eve must go out and populate and procreate to populate the world. So, and what is the Christian religion? The Christian religion is largely based on the patriarchy. Patriarchy, birth from the matriarchy. The patriarchy that wants to control the matriarch, the great divine mother, the darkness, the creator, the universal creator is the darkness. The universe is full of darkness, is permeated with dark matter. The creator is feminine. But they plaster that now. They've taught you that the creator is a masculine, is a white bearded man who sits in heaven. You know, have you ever wondered, without the feminine, nothing comes into physical manifestation. Without darkness, without the earth, nothing comes into physical manifestation. Yes, you can have your idea of heaven, but you cannot see this in a tangible form. You can perceive it, you can dream about it, you can imagine, but you cannot hold it in your physical hand. That is the light. That is the light. Before anything can come into physical manifestation, the groundedness of the mother, the darkness, the earth, the planet, you can walk on the planet today. You can touch, you can bathe, you can swim, you can touch her ocean, you can eat from her lush mountain fruits, plants. This is the great mother. You can touch it. But the conceptual Father creates the heaven. But until heaven and earth, darkness and light come together, there is no balance, there is no justice, and you cannot touch the fruit of what you want to manifest. So we are bringing this awareness to you in a very introspective way. So we are talking about religion, race. Another example of this schism where we're talking about black and white. We see all of the duality that is brought into our existence with the black and white, with the race scenario. Okay. Again, the patriarchy, the white supremacy, I'll mention that the supremacy of the supremacy of light over darkness, over the darkness that creates and embody the light, that create and accept the light, the supremacy of light in religion, in race. They tell you that white is better than black, and black is the evil one. This is why they tell women to hate their menstruation. You are unclean, all your female parts, all the expression of your womb, of your femaleness, of your womanness is diminished under the weight of the patriarchal system, under the weight of this bright, shining light that is the aspect of darkness. You see? So this is where we are coming from. Darkness, the great mother, is rising. We are coming back into circle. So there's the destruction of the light, the collapse of the light that is the patriarchy is condensing into the darkness. The light is always meant to come into darkness. The masculine is always meant to elevate, come into that elevation as the feminine, as the darkness, because we all, from birth, the first 6 weeks of birth, the fetus, the baby, the growing baby within the womb is feminine. That's the first gender, that's the first sex. The first 6 weeks of the fetus is feminine. What does that tell you? It's darkness, it's feminine. So the world of the patriarchy, of the matrix, of this light matrix is collapsing into darkness. And this is why you will hear the phrase, the divine feminine is rising, the voices of the matriarch is rising. The power of the feminine, the mother, the compassion, the balance, the peace, the nurturing is coming in. We are leaving the domination of this false matrix that has subdued the darkness for thousands, millions of years. True darkness is the embrace of all that is, and it's androgynous. It contains all expressions, and it's accepting of all expressions of life, because all expressions of life comes from the great cosmic mother, the darkness. If we can understand this truth and allow this truth to simmer within us and to meditate on this, we will come into the period of darkness. The period of Aquarius is knowing. And the knowing, the inner knowing, is darkness. We go into ourselves to seek that inner wisdom. That is the divine feminine energy, the age of knowing. It is darkness. And this is why they call it the Aquarian age. Because we're coming back into the womb of darkness, the cosmic mother, the great, the universal creator of all that is, of every expression that is. So I invite you to take this inner journey with me as you listen to this. I hope and I wish you your own inner knowing, which is the darkness within you, and to come into that enlightenment, the knowledge that you bring out, the knowledge that you acquire through that inner knowing. So this is the embrace of the light and dark within us, the inner knowing. We have the question and we also have the answer. This is the embrace of the light and dark within us, the androgynous being, the Christ consciousness is here in the unified being. That is the Christ consciousness. And this is the age that we are entering, the age of unification within and without. Again, we close with the axiom, as above, so below. I also want to read this extract from the book, The Great Cosmic Mother by Barbara Sojourn, by Monica So and Barbara Moore. So I want to read this extract. The Great Mother in her many aspects, maiden, raging warriors, benevolent mother, death dealing, and all wise crone, unknowable and ultimate weird, to now powerfully re-emerging and rising again in human consciousness as we approach the 24th century. Isis, Mawu, Lisa, Demeter, Gaia, Shakti, Dakinis, Shekinah, Astarte, Ishtar, Rhea, Freya, Nethus, Bridget, Danu, call her what you may, has been with us from the beginning and awaits us now. She is the beauty of the green earth, the life-giving waters, the consuming fire, the radiant moon, and the fiery sun. She is star goddess and spider woman. She weaves the luminous web that creates the universe. As Earth, the great planetary spirit being, she germinates life from within her dark womb. After thousands of years of life denying and anti-evolutionary patriarchal cultures that have raped, ravaged, and polluted the earth, she returns. The earth's immune system is breaking down, and so is ours. Her soil, the atmosphere, plant life, trees, and animal worlds are exhausted beyond endurance. All beings are suffering and can now take no more. Based on matriarch, the death of all nature, and the utter exploitation of women, Western culture has now run itself into the ground, and there is no other way but to return to the mother who gives us life. If we are to survive, we have to attune yet again to the spirit of nature, and we must learn to hear the voices of the ancestors who speak to us from their other world realms.